In today's chess video, I am going to share you how to play the King's Gambit and some top 4 special traps to crush a lot of players. So over here, let's have the first trap and the overview of the King's Gambit. Basically what's happened is your opponent has two responses, either to capture and begins with King's Gambit accepted or to play d6, the declined variation. So let me tell you the declined variation at first and a special trap in this. Over here what you may do is simply go on with knight f3. Now what's the main intention? You are blocking the queen to jump here giving check because he is having a special advantage. So you have to block it and at the same time you are attacking the center. So over here your opponent try knight c6, you play bishop c4, bishop g4. Now this is one of the common played moves. Over here he is planning for this, creating pin. He may simply capture. After queen take he may try something like queen check and have a lot of plans. These are one of the plannings from the players as black. Now what you may do is you may continue with castling. Now after you castle, there are some players, what they do is they continue with knight d4. Now their main intention is creating a pin and attacking this knight. So what can you do for this knight? So basically here you have to sacrifice the bishop. Now you might say that this bishop sacrifice, like what's the main plan? The king can easily win it. Well, so you may play knight g5 check even. The queen is going to attack this bishop. So in the next move you may capture the bishop and the king. So king e8, you capture. Now you find a very good move like knight take on c2. Now he can capture your rook. No, not at all. Don't worry. You may go with f take on e5. If your opponent captures the rook, you may continue with sacrificing the rook. If he capture the knight to e6 and you may win the queen. So obviously if your opponent king is quite loving to his girlfriend, he would try his best to protect. So he may capture the pawn. Still, what you have to do is sacrifice the rook. If you try to protect, then the rook is going to capture, or even you can deliver the mate with queen e6 and queen f7. Oh yeah, so that's a checkmate. So this was the trap 1 which you can play. Now let's have the second trap, and this time when he accept. Now when he accept, this is one of the most common played move. Like if you try the king's gambit, then you'll observe that many of the players will capture it. So over here, what you may do is simply play knight f3. This pawn, where it is standing, means the e4 square. This square, d5 square, and the knight controlling these squares. So basically, you understand, whole center is in your control, and at the same time, you are blocking the queen to come out. Okay, but at some cases, I will also show you some traps where you play bishop c4 instead of knight f3, where you allow your opponent giving this. So just wait for it. So over here, if your opponent plays g5, what you may do is simply attack it. Now why are you attacking? Like why are you playing side moves instead of central move? So the main idea is that you are attacking it so that this pawn can become weak. Now if your opponent captures it, then that's a very good news for you. You may go on with d4 because these 4 weak pawns are one of the weak pawns. You can capture it anytime. Okay, anytime. You may go with bishop take on it, and this is up to you. If you want to take, then take. If you don't want to take, then delay it. Okay, over here, now this is not a common played move. The beginners would try this. Even beginners would play x6. If they play this, you go with this. If you take, then go on with capturing the rook. And remind them that they are not Gotham chess sacrificing their rook like that. Anyways, go backwards, and if you play something like f6, you may sacrifice your knight. Now your opponent may take it. What's the advantage? So you take out your queen, which was hiding over here. Now if your opponent play king, you may give a check. King has to move backwards there because he has to protect his girlfriend. And obviously all the men are loyal to their girlfriend. So you may simply go on with queen e5 check. If you play king f7, now capturing the rook is not your priority. Your priority is capturing the king. So bishop c4 check, and after king to g6, x5 check, king x6, Now this is how you will deliver the checkmate. Now this was the 13th move of the king and you delivered the mate. So this was how you can play like this. Against the f6 variation. Okay. Otherwise, instead of x4, I can even tell you something interesting with knight c3. Now the main intention is you are allowing your opponent to play g4. After this, you take out the knight e5, the queen and the knight. Both will attack this pawn. Suddenly your opponent take out his queen and give a check. Now this might this might be one of the dangerous moves from your side. Okay, many players are white. Now what they do is they move the king. Well, so never ever move the king. This is one of the basic things that you have to learn. Never move the king. Instead, play g3. If your opponent captures, now his plan is that you take it and queen take on rook. So that's what you don't have to do. Instead, play queen take g4. Now your opponent tries to be smart and play g2 check. With this, he is giving check and at the same time winning the rook. Now what you may do? So you may simply capture the queen and let him capture your rook, promoting to a new queen. Because you may play knight to d5. Now if you observe, the queen is controlling the squares. So knight take on it is a checkmate. So your opponent try knight a6. Now he is trying to defend this pawn, right? Now what you may do? So you may say that this bishop can easily capture this bishop, this knight. Well, so forgot about the pins. This is a pin, you cannot capture it. Then what you can do? You may simply play d4. If your opponent tries something like bishop e7, now with this, their main intention is that you go with knight take and they develop. But what you may do is, you may go with queen sacrifice. And after you take, you may go with knight f6 check, king goes to d8, then knight take on c7, a knight take on f7 is a checkmate. Otherwise, if we play king to f8, then bishop x6 and that's also a checkmate. So let us have another trap and the final trap of this video. Now as I told about bishop c4, I told about that I will be covering this line in this video. So over here, your opponent take full advantage and play queen h4. You have to move the king f1. Now you might say you lost the king's castling ability, which is very important. So yes, in the king's gambit, accept it. If you are learning this opening, that you have to learn this. You have to learn to sacrifice your castling ability. So he'll play bishop c5, one of the most common played move. Idea is checkmate. You have to play d4, you will attack the bishop and take the control of center. Now he'll take his bishop back, you develop and attack the queen. If you play queen g4, and this is one of the common played moves, so you may go with bishop sacrifice. If your opponent take, then knight e5 check and ultimately you can capture the queen. So this is how you can play the king's gambit, and if you enjoyed the video, you may like the video and thanks for watching.